Walking into your medical school interview, acing everything and achieving your 4 out of 4 offers would be a dream. So why don't you make that dream into a reality? And you can start off by making sure that you actually know the content when walking into your interviews. Now, in this video, what we're going to be doing is looking at different public health campaigns and things that have been introduced by both the NHS and the government. So you have a really strong understanding of different public health campaigns that have been going on in the UK, so you can actually talk about these in your medical school interview. Hi, I'm Loveleen, a medical student at King's College London, here to help you with your interviews. Now, I completely understand how daunting and difficult interviews were, as I was in your position. But fast forward a couple of months, I went on to achieve all 4 of my offers with interview scores as high as 135 out of 140. And I'm here to help you do the same and achieve your dream of studying medicine. On my channel, I talk about all things relating to medicine, entrepreneurship, and mindset. Now, to help you, I've also created loads of different resources. First up is my Aspiring Medics newsletter for completely free resources. On this, I post loads of different tips relating to the journey of getting into medicine, especially around during UCAT season and interview season, and what you can be doing to help you achieve your dream of studying medicine. Additionally, one of the key reasons that I was actually able to get all 4 of my offers was my interview document. This is an over 50-page document in which I've included all of the content that you need to know, ethical pillars, over 100 different types of questions, and also the NHS hot topics and research. If you're interested in this, make sure to check it out using the link below. Additionally, if you want more personalized support with helping you get your 4 out of 4 offers and studying medicine at your dream uni, then check out my interview course. Again, as part of this interview course, you get personalized, tailored learning given to you about all the content, learning how you should actually be structuring your interview responses, what your interviewers want from you when you're doing a med school interview, and the art of speaking and presentation, because this is so important in helping you secure your offers and get into medicine. Let's start off by actually taking a look at what are some of the public health concerns in the UK. So within the UK specifically, many deaths are actually caused by non-communicable diseases, meaning non-infection diseases. So this includes things such as cancers, diabetes, and cardiovascular diseases. These are often caused by lifestyle factors such as drinking, smoking, or lifestyle factors like getting enough exercise and having the right diet. So one of the most important things is actually making sure that education is being increased so that everyone can lead better life qualities and make sure that they have the right steps and are empowered with the right knowledge so that they know what they can do in order to make sure that they're reducing their lifestyle factor risks for these different non-communicable conditions. One of the first examples that we're going to take a look at is something called the sugar tax. Now, the sugar tax was introduced by the government in 2018, and this was done because for different drinks or for different foods that had sugar over a certain quantity in the food, there was a tax applied for these companies. As a result, many companies then tried to reduce the amount of sugar in this, and it also increased the awareness from a consumer perspective in the amount of sugar that was included in these. Following on from this, research found that actually there was a drop in the consumption of sugar, and this is important because often high consumption rates of sugar can be correlated to different conditions. An issue that the NHS was particularly concerned about was childhood obesity, as this has been shown through research to be slightly on the increase. Now, one of the things that has been introduced in order to combat childhood obesity was communities and initiatives taken up by local councils in order to actually support children in there and make sure that they had correct education and have healthier food options and access to that as well in order to reduce the rates of obesity. Because NHS found that children who were more likely to be obese, they often were likely to still be obese as adults too. And obesity can act as a risk factor for many different conditions too, which is why it's really important that for children that they have the right education, knowing how to make healthy decisions for their lifestyle. Now let's take a look at something called the fat tax, and this is definitely one of the more controversial public health campaigns that has been discussed due to the ethical issues surrounding it. What the fat tax would mean is that for foods that contain high levels of fat, there would be some form of tax or a higher price point for it. Now, there are some benefits for this that some people believe, because it means that there would be lower rates of obesity and less fat consumed, because consuming very high levels of fat can contribute to obesity. However, there are also a lot of negatives for introducing this tax, as it will disproportionately affect certain areas of the UK. It could be taking away the autonomy from individuals too, and it's really important to consider that we're not actually worsening health inequalities that already exist in the UK. I hope from this video you have a greater understanding into public health and some of the campaigns that have been conducted or have been considered. Now, it's really important for all of these that you also take into consideration the ethical aspect of them too, as some of these different campaigns have more ethical considerations than others. It's also really important to make sure that we're not imposing on the autonomy of any individuals, and this is definitely an element that you can include in your medical school interviews. Now, if you found this video helpful, make sure to check out some of my other videos which look at NHS hot topics too, so you can learn all of the content that you need to for your interviews.